Hello viewers, welcome to the Lungleng Show. Last week we visited a prominent coaching center in Dimapur known as Edufy. So they're a coaching center that gives coaching for UPSC aspirants and Nagaland Public Service Commission and BSc aspirants. The reason we visited the coaching center was to understand and unravel the buzz surrounding this competitive exams frenzy. We all have friends, we all know a lot of people who are going to coaching center to crack this exam. So we wanted to understand what do the students have in mind when they admit themselves in those coaching centers, and who are those coaching centers for, and who should not go to coaching centers. So we had a detailed discussion on this trend of people going to coaching centers to crack UPSC and BSc exams. And I want to make a special announcement of a car rental service in Nagaland known as KABXI, KABXI. I think they give a car rental service everywhere in Nagaland. You can rent a car, any type of car, like from a cheap car to a very expensive car for a day or two, or even for 3 days, depending on your needs. So if you ever need a car, please check this KABXI, KABXI, and I'm sure you won't regret, because it has been very helpful, and the price has been again very reasonable, keeping in mind the kind of risk that they take by handing out their own cars to some people, they don't even know. So if you ever need a car, please check this out, and please take your time and listen to our conversation on the exam coaching centers that when we had a conversation last week. So have fun. We are going to speak some very, very important thing today. And in our society, we all run towards civil service exam. And I have been trying to understand why everyone has to write civil service exam. For once, I was against the idea that everybody should write for civil service exam. I'm still against that idea because not everyone is made for civil service. Because out of 10 lakhs candidates, only 1,000 something will be selected. So that means civil service is not for everyone. But I'm in support of the idea that those who are very serious and genuine about this exam and want to become an administrator or in the bureaucratic system, want to serve the government as a bureaucrat and want to serve the society as a bureaucrat, fully we support that, because it has to be that. One has to have a vision and aim in life that I want to serve our society. I want to serve the government as a very, very efficient bureaucrat. Those people we really support. So we thought that it would be nice to have a conversation with someone who has actually cracked this exam, as in from the prelims till the mains, and who has sat till the interview board, and who has faced questions from the interview panelists. So we have Mukul Rajkumar, who has gone through that process and who has been teaching in the coaching center for UPSC and civil service exams for more than 12 years now. Yeah, so he's joining me to have a conversation on this, and let's explore what actually is happening and what is the best way to crack this for those who are very, very serious about this. Not for everyone, but for those who are genuinely preparing and serious about this. So Mukul, thanks for joining me in this conversation.
Thank you, sir.
I'm glad that you will answer some of my curious questions about this exam and the atmosphere that we have in our society, right?
Sure, sir.
So tell me, who is civil services made for?
First of all, I will notify here two things. First, the candidates who has strong desire to bring some changes in their society and family, they can opt for the civil services, because this exam and the post which they get into after clearing of this exam, they get some governmental empowerment to bring some social changes within their capability, and what they can do is for changing the entire face of their own villages, related society, and empowering them with many factors. So the candidates who has strong desire on achieving something for society, they can opt for and go for civil services exam.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can also achieve those goals from opening by CBOs, like community-based organizations.
Correct.
And
social NGOs.
Makes that sense. Is also working in this field. So when we talk about the power of changing the society with a strong government support, then we think of bureaucracy. Correct. That is civil services exam.
Within the system.
Yes.
Now, let's hear your story. What compelled you to write for civil service exam and you cracked prelims and mains and you said till the interview board?
Sir, that's very generous of you. I consider my preparation started from the end of the engineering from Punjab Technical University. I was in Jalandhar, Punjab.
Okay.
I was pursuing my final years of degree, and at the end semester, my dean and my colleagues also supported me that you should go for this civil services. Until that time, I was not developed too much from mindset that I will have to pursue the civil services.
Okay.
But let's say if it was in my nature that to help my friends, help my people around me and society who's around me. So I was developing those kind of intentions in me. So I started preparing for the UPSC. Right after some time, I came back to Delhi after 2011 after finishing up my degree and entered in this journey of preparation. In first attempt, I was failed in prelims. Obviously, I was having very little idea about how to crack prelims and all. It requires a proper strategy. Not only knowledge helps you there.
Okay.
So after 2011, in my second attempt in 2012, by God grace, I was cleared in prelims, and right after that, we did a serious preparation for mains for 2 months, and after that, mains was also cleared. So we were totally obsessed with this preparation. But I would say to everyone and all your audience that do not obsessed with the civil service preparation.
Okay.
Obviously,
What do you mean to not obsess? Means
do not obsess
keep it as
means-
one option.
Yeah, keep it as an option of your career because this is not the complete life. This
the
is
end of
one
the
part
world.
of life.
Okay.
And the candidates I've seen in Delhi that they die for this, they committed suicide for this. Even I lost my two friends in nearby our close proximity.
Just because they could not correct?
Just because they could not correct in 5 years.
Wow.
They were from very poor background, so they committed suicide.
I can imagine the pain and frustration.
Yes, so
Yeah.
that was an obsession.
True.
So, so I always refer to the students who are having the dream of becoming a civil servant. They should approach it, but this should not be your complete life.
Yeah, to some extent, to limited period of
Yes,
time.
True.
Have a plan.
Yes,
And
have
then-
a plan of at least 5 years. You will dedicatedly give, and if you cannot clear it, and by any chance you are not able to do it, don't be so obsessed with it. You have so many good things coming in your life.
Perfect.
That should
Now
be-
you said in 2011 you appeared and you could not crack.
Could
you
not
failed.
crack, right.
But what changes did you make that you were able to make in 2012? That
The changes, first of all, any civil service preparing candidate should know that what are their laggings while preparing the subject, while preparing for the civil services. First of all, we should understand the nature of UPSC. UPSC is keenly focused on understanding your IQ levels, your analytical skills, your observation skills, your listening capability, your writing capability.
Comprehension.
It's not just about covering the syllabus of geography, history, or any other subject which they have given. It's also about developing your inner personality skills. And when you are into this preparation, you work on those according to the preparation strategy. Because you need to indulge these skills development in your preparation strategy. If you cannot, then you definitely maybe can clear the prelims, but mains will defeat you. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Because mains gives really goosebumps when we face off the conceptual, including the observational questions.
exactly.
I'll give you one small example. I was sitting for the exam. I actually going through the previous year exams questions. So there was one question UPSC in prelims asked about the among which of the following animals has black strip going from eyes to mouth. And they gave the option of jaguar, cheetah, leopard, and this panther. So, I mean, like any candidate who is very new to this preparation would think, why the hell this question is asked by the UPSC? Maybe.
Okay.
But the person who has a keen vision, they will understand that there is a reason behind that
Okay.
question asked by the UPSC. They are actually looking after your observation skill.
Okay.
Let's say we are in UPSC preparation or any kind of state civil service preparation, we have environmental subject.
Yeah.
We need to prepare for environment. So let's say you are preparing for
Which one do you think is the answer to that question?
that the answer is cheetah.
Cheetah.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's say any civil services, they are asking this question. Their main point is that you are studying about the biodiversity conservation. Like Nagaland is a huge biodiversity conservative area, and very fascinating conservation area. So, are you by heart?
Do you really
studying
know the
that?
animals?
Yes.
Okay.
Meaning, when you are talking about protection of tiger, then you should know basic things, how it looks like, how its basic details are.
Okay.
It's not like you should be a veterinarian doctor, no, but obviously you should be very observable about the tiger. Like
if you're keen about that.
keen
right?
about it. So
Okay,
they are
okay.
looking about the candidate who is from hard bureaucrat, not from plastic, like from face they want to be a bureaucrat. So that is the way they are judging the students from their exams.
I think those are some of the techniques and strategies which cannot be taught from the textbook.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So
These textbooks
that comes from
cannot teach you
experience.
that. Bilkul.
And you have textbooks like general knowledge,
Yes,
general studies,
general studies.
even at Edufy,
Yes.
your institute where you use. I mean, I want to know, suppose somebody from Nagaland wants to seriously serve society within the system in a very genuine and honest means, and he wants to crack this exam. And what would you suggest to start with as first step?
First, for me, every student is same. So I speak to every student and aspirants that if they want to approach UPSC, first make yourself officer from your inside. Start thinking like an officer, not with attitude, but a positivity that an officer shall do.
Responsibility?
Taking positive responsibilities, dedicating your mindset towards positivity. First thing which you need to start with is very dedicated syllabus discrimination on like GS subject. If you cannot understand the syllabus demand, then you waste a lot of time in studying those things which are actually not required for the civil services.
I see.
So when we indulge, when we separate, when we do proper work on syllabus discipline, then we understand next step, that what I should go now, where I should go now. So we always suggest after completion of your syllabus, you should at least go for 10 years previous year questions.
10 years?
10 years previous year question.
Okay.
It will take time. It's okay. You no need to be too much impatient about it, because after all, it's about your aspirancy and career. So we always guide these students.
Okay.
And if the student is going through the previous year questions, they will gradually come to know that, okay, this subject's asking depth is this much. So from there, the depth of syllabus is decided. Many people like guides or mentors, they don't give the proper insights on guidance, especially on the syllabus, and which I personally believe has to be emphasized. Why? Because when they have the proper depth knowledge of syllabus, till where the UPSC is asking question, how much deep you should study about one topic of geography or polity or history, until unless your syllabus is not done. So the syllabus is done in the way like you have studied about Akbar. Akbar has this, that. That's it. That is also one type of completion of that particular topic.
Okay.
And there is another type of completion of topic when you are indulging into the mindset of Gandhi and Subhash Chandra Bose. What was the ideological difference between Gandhi and Subhash Chandra Bose?
The nuances of it.
Yes. So it is not indulged with the facts syllabus. It is also giving you essence of understanding what could be the possible reasons during that time
Yeah.
that they could have like they have been through this situation.
Okay.
So that is the difference between the syllabus depth and the normal syllabus completion.
Okay. Okay.
So that has to be structured first of all to the students.
Correct. Well, that's, I mean, kind of interesting, as in
Right.
the journey that every aspirant has to take. I mean, it's not an easy journey. I would acknowledge that.
Right.
And it's not an easy exam. It's a tough exam. So, Chalo, let's see. The student has to set their mindset and attitude in the correct way possible, considering themselves as what if they become officer.
Right.
So, I mean, they have started living the life of an officer during their preparation, very disciplined, taking up the responsibility, which you mentioned, well and good, and analytical about it, and dive deep into the syllabus.
Correct.
And don't waste time on, unnecessary topics.
Unnecessary topics.
Correct.
That should be segregated by the candidate.
So, someone who has never, since you have been in the coaching institute as well,
Yes.
how would you suggest that, hey, you need coaching institute? And some say that coaching institute, you don't need actually coaching institute. There are people saying that. There are people saying you need coaching institute. And I'm sure for someone like you who has been part of the coaching institute, you will say you need it because you need a first-hand guide in,
Right,
you
right.
know.
Actually, I'm saying the like reciprocal of it.
Okay.
Actually, I don't recommend every student to go for taking the coaching. If the student is building strong base from NCRT, or they are confident enough that they have studied well, they have done their primary classes, well structured base, they have made their basic very well, then all they need is disciplinary guidance, moral guidance, and they will be able to crack the exam. No need for those kind of students, those who know what to study, those who know where they can stop the preparation, those who know where till what I should study and what I should not study. If the candidate is very clear about these visions, then I will tell you in your podcast that those students do not need any kind of coaching institute. They can go with their own will, motivation, and their well strategy of preparation. But there is a challenge comes when students are totally zero, blank, unaware of what is going around, what is going in their career opportunity, or which career opportunity they should opt for, and totally confused in their journey.
Yeah.
So in that case, I personally consider, I would not recommend, I will not take the name of coachings, but I will personally consider that they need a guidance, they need a mentor who can lead them, who can show them the path of guidance.
Okay.
Because since we were born, I can consider my parents my guides, because I was blank that time. When I entered school, I will also consider teachers were my guide, because I was also unaware of what is A, B, C, D.
Okay, so without getting into a lot of philosophical things
Yes, right, sure.
Let's just look at, see, some people prepare for prelims with using different strategies, and they use different strategy for mains, and another strategy for personal interviews.
Yes.
So if you were to, summarize on that part and tell me, like, how is prelims prepared normally, how is mains prepared, and how do you prepare for personal interview? Like you said, I like the idea that you may just clear prelims, but if you're not well equipped with a lot of things, then the mains will defeat you.
Yeah.
You may have done well till mains, but if you as a person do not have that good character as a person and good analytical skill in the way you speak, in the way you respond to people, then personal interview will defeat you again.
Sure.
I mean, likely. So there are chances.
Bilkul, there are a lot of chances.
How do you look at it comprehensively?
Here in this part, what I would like to tell to the aspirants is basically the preparation of the civil services are not separate. Like we cannot do the preparation part by part. Like prelims first, mains second, and interview third. When we decided to give the preparation as becoming an aspirant of civil services, I decided from that day that I will prepare for all of it, because selection is after the interview, not before that. Until unless you crack the interview, you are not succeeded. Meaning, the preparation when you start, the basic point of starting the preparation is you start making notes. That makes you more confidence in mains writing. When you yourself making your handwritten notes from
Is it highly recommended, making your own notes?
it is very, very highly recommended. Without that, mains is very difficult. Writing practice is essential from the very beginning. Make notes of the current affairs, of whatever you learn from geography or any other subject. Plus, you watch and observe the things from good resources like Sansad TV, like the like Detail Bureau of PIB, Press Information Bureau,
official
of
websites
Government of India. Right. So this preparation goes simultaneously, not one after one. You read, you write, you learn. This is the preparation strategy which you from day one shall start. So, and many candidates, since I don't know whether they have lack of time or something like that, but they are too much involved with only listening and learning. For example, there are a lot of online platforms who gives you classes, and they are doing well. I'm not criticizing them. They are doing extra mile to guide these candidates. But the issue is the candidate is not getting this point, that the by listening with the topic which they have learned from any online platform, they should make a note for their own. They should make the note for their own. Because if they will not make that note, they will not be able to develop the strategy of writing. And they should go for proper article reading, because civil services ask you so many questions in terms of terminologies. If students do not have this particular habit of writing, they do not go through with the proper strategy of terms, learning terms. I will give you one small example for the clarity of aspirants. I will tell you that let's say there is a question that these years the world is witnessing climate change, and due to which cryospheric regions are facing the serious issues which is impacting their diversity. So this is one type of question. Another type of question is the world is witnessing global climate change, and due to which the glaciers of Earth are melting and biodiversity is changing. Now, there is two questions, but both are same. But here few people will be filtered by the UPSC or civil services. Why? Because they were not aware of this word cryogenic. But glacier is quite familiar, so they are confident enough to tackle with this question. This confidence comes from reading habit, not only through listening habit.
Absolutely.
So you should start your preparation with writing, listening, and reading.
Makes sense. I think that's not just for exam preparation, even in your academic. That's part of it, to sharpen your skill. I mean, that's quite a takeaway for me as well, as someone who runs a podcast. I just don't have to speak about it. I have to read it. Sometimes I need to write it down. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, that's a beautiful journey of, that personally comes from your teaching experience as well as your writing experience, right? So, we know that state like Nagaland produces just, very less amount of successful candidates. Not every year people from the state crack this exam. And I wouldn't say that that's necessarily bad. It's okay. People who wants to write with their attitude, with their vision of serving people, they're writing. And that doesn't mean that the state is performing less. We agree on that. But if the state is writing, if the state has thousands of candidates and never cracking, then there's a problem in that.
That is the problem.
If you're not writing at all, it's fine. Everyone has their own choice of profession.
Correct.
But if the state is people from state is attempting to crack this exam like anything and never cracking, then there's a problem.
True.
What's your observation? You have been in Nagaland for quite some time.
By God grace, I've got chance to teach Nagaland students for at least 4 to 5 years.
Okay.
And what I personally observed about Nagaland students and their aspirancy for UPSC was less in last decades, in the previous years, but gradually this preparatory mode and their interest in UPSC exam is increasing. Increasing.
Yeah, feel free to pull it up.
Okay.
It's something you can help. It's okay, we'll just continue.
So that is increasing.
Yeah.
Now, when we talk about the selection of the candidates in Nagaland in UPSC, so we saw in 2023 4 selections were there.
Okay.
From the Nagaland state, and in 2024 of 2023's exam, I think 1. And before 2023, there was almost for 2-3 years no selection, approximately.
Okay.
And after that, when we see this year exam, again there is no selection. This time, obviously, Arunachal has done well, and Assam has got 1, including the Mizoram.
Okay.
Nagaland and Manipur are this time having no candidates.
So
from
before you
UPSC.
continue, do you have any rough information around how many candidates from Nagaland write for UPSC every year? Just roughly.
Rough, I would say
15 to 20,000?
That is very big number.
That's big? Okay.
That is very big number, but I would say around 10,000 to 12,000 that.
Okay.
Since some of them, they drop before sitting the exam.
Yeah.
That is also happening in UPSC preliminary exams.
That's for sure.
But that is not actually the point. The point is there are 2 different things about the Nagaland not getting too much of selections in UPSC. First is we have less population as compared to the other states. Like Nagaland has almost 2.2 million population within 17 districts. And when we talk about UP and Bihar, their population density is huge and their population is also very high. So the ratio of selection looks big in those states as compared to Nagaland.
Absolutely.
And when we talk about the density of population in Nagaland, it's hardly 119 people per square kilometer.
Okay.
Right. So this 2.2 million people, out of them, almost around 20 to 29,000 students are graduating every year from the state of Nagaland. Plus, I would say some government drawbacks like not growing the infrastructure development in many ways, which is not creating too much of employment for the candidates. So one factor is sometimes psychological also, because students who actually are not, as you said, sir, some students maybe do not want to appear for civil service. Maybe.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes it comes in mind that if not civil service or government exam, then which employment? So that is a big question in
because hardly there is private sector jobs.
Hardly,
right?
yes. Private sector is not developing. Service sector is available everywhere, and the people who are doing graduation from physics, chemistry, they are forced to do the job in service sector. Not using their capabilities, what they learn from the academics. So this is one of the factor which is also pushing them towards the government jobs. Not always UPSC, but state government jobs also.
I get that point. Now, can you please draw me a picture of the students, candidates that come to your coaching institute? Can you tell me the nature of their, let's say, weakness in their foundation? How weak they are, from the weakness to the sharpest.
Correct.
The strength that they have. How weak are the students when they come here, and what kind of improvements do they develop after joining?
That is a very nice question that you have asked to me, which should be actually
Because I want to know
mentioned,
like what kind of students come
which
in.
actually should be mentioned. See, as a faculty, I'll consider myself as a mentor for this much years to the students of Nagaland. So I've witnessed one thing that almost 60% to 70% has a weak primary school background, meaning background in the sense the concepts are not clear from NCRT, which we study in our basic primary schools. And that can be, you can, like, we are not here for blaming games, so that can be due to many aspects. Many aspects.
And I consider
yes,
rote learning,
yeah,
repetitive and memorization as one of the
one of the
reasons.
big factor. Plus, I have asked few of my students whether they have done the chemistry laboratory experiments or not, adding carbon dioxide with water, making carbonic acid, like that. So they have said no. Meaning the basic infrastructure is also lacking in primary schools.
Yeah, even I did not do that.
Yes, that is one of the factor.
Right.
So basic infrastructure lacking is also pulling our students down in moral conditions when they especially are focusing to make their career, and that becomes a challenge for our students, and how they will cope up with these basics. Because if you start from the basic like NCRT, then your course will go up to 2 years.
Correct. And they will take longer time to crack this,
Yes,
even if they do.
It will take more. It's not like they cannot, but they will always do if they are consistent with that preparation.
Okay.
But holding motivation for a long period of time is also one of the big challenge in modern days students.
We have a limit.
Also
We have a
big
limit to that as well,
Yes,
right?
we are more impatient as we grow.
Yeah.
So when we become more impatient, that becomes more challenging for the student to keep up your motivation high always.
Got it.
That time you need a support.
Sometimes there can be false motivation as well. So, you cannot just say, if you really, really try hard, you can actually make it. That may not necessarily be true.
Yes.
Right?
True.
Because sometimes, do you believe that sometimes it comes down to luck as well? Luck as in, you don't do anything but by luck you bust. It's not like that. But for those who are equally prepared, the other person can be luckier than the other one.
Right. That's true. I'll give you one statement. Say, for example, I will tell you the lucky lucky story. There is a chance of happening in the UPSC selection that two people have got equal marks.
Correct.
While interview, and they have got the same rank, means same marks. So how will you decide the rank? Same marks, how will you decide the rank? The rank is now decided by the basic structure of discipline, like who is older and who is younger. Now, if you are older in among both of you, and you got lucky, you got good first rank.
So you mean to say being older is the lucky one?
Yes.
Would they pay more respect to the older ones?
There are more factors. There are more factors of consideration. But age is also a factor of consideration.
Yeah, it's a concession.
Yes, age is also a factor of consideration.
I see.
Another factor is they will check your GS score. Maybe the overall marks of both candidates is same, but maybe both of students' GS score is different.
GS 1?
Yes. GS 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, okay. Means
there are 4 papers.
Right.
So GS 1, 2, 3, 4 papers, they will check the 4 papers marks. If any one of them has got good marks in GS, so that will be considered a higher rank.
I see.
So again, you got lucky. Like initially you thought like you got 2 people who has same marks, but whom to give the first rank.
Yeah, I mean that's a nice way of looking at it.
Yeah. Another point I would like to mention that many candidates do not even think who born in 29th of February.
Yeah.
Because on the chance, because your birthday is coming in every leap year.
And one of them could be especially able person.
Right.
So I mean, there is always a way to look at it, right?
Yes.
Like whom we should give more grace to.
Yes.
I think that UPSC will easily figure out.
Yes.
I think I will not be worried about
that's
it.
That's why I always recommend you should prepare. You go for preparation. Do not go for watching here and there.
But that's
You prepare for good.
That's in terms of candidates who equally crack the exam,
Yeah.
right? You may be well prepared, but sometimes you may not be able to crack because
In that regard,
chances do not come to in your favor.
yes.
Sometimes,
True,
you know.
true.
So this has been very interesting. Now, see, people have been trying NPSC in the case of Nagaland and UPSC, and these candidates are trying both almost every year,
Right.
right? To the best possible extent. Now, tell me, if a candidate cannot make these two, what do they normally do? Do they go back to just being unemployed? Because I've seen many people getting unemployed and coming home and doing nothing and teaching in the college. Or I'm not saying teaching is a bad thing, but they did not prioritize it. When they run out of option, they go back to teaching.
Yeah.
So teaching should be also a career. It's a career.
It is a career.
It's a good profession. So
It's a noble profession.
It's a noble profession, which is fine. It's just that people take that up as the last option. I have nothing to do in my life, so let me start going to school and teach in the government primary school.
Correct.
That case also could be there.
Yes.
Now, what are the options that you would like to suggest? Because we haven't explored a lot of options.
Sir, I personally prioritize the awareness.
Okay.
Awareness is very important for the students. Like, if they are maybe not succeeded in one exam, let's say not succeeded in NPSC, they can appear for other exams. There are exams like NSSP. They can appear for the central government exams like CAPF, SSC, banking, or any other IB, Intelligence Bureau.
And you were also talking about defense.
Difference is
no, defense.
Defense
Yeah.
CAPF, they can go for that.
Okay.
CDS, this is all defense.
Right.
You can directly become a commanding officer.
Okay.
Right. So there are multiple options. So there is no way you should get demotivated if you are fail or if you are not succeeded in one kind of exams. But I would always recommend students, do what you want to do, but do from your heart. Not bad things, obviously, but do from your heart. Do from your heart in the sense like, yes, you can approach to become a teacher.
Okay.
You can approach to become a professor. You can pursue your degree post graduation and after PhD.
Okay.
After PhD, you give the exams according to the UGC rules and regulations, and you try for your career to become a professor.
Okay.
There is no harm in that. But the point here is in our Nagaland. Students has to realize that what career options they can opt for to take their life further, because employment is not an option in modern days life. Unemployment is not an option for modern day
Not
life
at all.
not at all, because inflation rate is going touching the sky. You
Yeah.
cannot survive without now any employment.
Absolutely.
Right? So
Absolutely.
you need to seek for that employment, and maybe government should listen to its citizens also. They should prepare good infrastructure for generating employment, making more hydel power projects so that employment can be generated.
Right.
So there will be less necessity of the candidates to go towards civil services. They can go towards those employments also, grow more MSME sector.
Yep.
Which is a second largest employment sector of India, entire sector of India.
Which is the first?
Agriculture.
Right.
Agriculture is giving you more than 45% employment in India.
Yeah.
But our youngsters are not looking at agriculture as a opportunity of employment.
Yeah. We see as a failure. We
Yes.
see agriculture as a failure.
Agriculture is a
Yeah.
But to be very frank, agriculture is a basic backbone of GDP of India, including Nagaland state.
It's an enterprise.
Yes.
So
Pineapple.
I'm sure. I know.
Paddies.
That's true. Very true.
They are basic economic driven conditions of Nagaland.
Yeah.
So if youngsters' brain goes into that and put their energy into that sector, obviously agriculture can be a business.
Right. So to all our viewers, and especially the young ones, who really want to crack this exam, chalo, give it a year or 2 or 3. Set a goal. Try it by giving your level best. If you really have a vision to serve society within the system. If you cannot make it at all, that's not the end of the world.
Right.
Choose something, do something meaningful, and always contribute to the society.
Bilkul.
Right.
That's what our message is.
Any last thought?
Last thought is anyone who is involved in aspirancy of UPSC or any civil services,
Yeah.
they should not give up until unless their soul or their heart says it's okay, leave it.
Yeah.
Second thing, you should always try the previous year questions regularly. Even if you are sitting free, you should never stop learning from any source.
Yeah.
Even if you are taking journey, you're moving from one place to another, just listen to some articles or story or anything which is helpful for your preparation. Plus, always attempt mock test.
Yeah.
I will give you one, just a story of it. Like we just conducted the mock tests, at least 4 mock tests for UPSC
Okay.
last month, and fortunately, I will pray. I'm obliged to the God's grace. Is our 17 questions directly came in
In the
from
exam.
mock test in the
Okay.
exam, and
Okay.
when we compared it, we were totally obliged by seeing that, and we were very happy that at least the students who have at least touched our mock tests,
Mhm.
at least like set for the mock test, not taking admission, set for the mock test, and seeing our entire means the questions and the nature of questions, the points. If they could have seriously gone through those topics, they could have easily attempt 40 marks question in UPSC prelims.
Okay.
So we wanted the quality thing which a candidate should receive, and candidate should know that how you should or how you can filter, because after all, people are the teacher, people are the criminals, and people are the best things.
Correct.
So you should be try to develop a skill of defining and rational thinking mentality. You
Right.
should have developed that. Until unless we develop those things, we will not be good at decision making skills.
Okay.
And decision making is the first part of your bureaucracy.
Okay. Mukul, thanks so much. This has been, I think, quite enlightening for me, as in I want to understand the minds of the aspirants and what is really going on with the competitive exams and all. I think you have really laid down properly and explained in such a way that it will be very easy for everyone to understand and relate. And I think if there is any candidate willing to just check out, you are from Edufy. I want to just make a special announcement. And he's from Edufy, and we come to Edufy to have this conversation. And they're based in Dimapur.
I actually did not want to mention that name.
It's okay. There's no harm. There's where you belong, where you teach.
Yeah.
But yeah, our conversation is more on the actual trend of the students enrolling in competitive exams and attempting to crack these exams, and the failures and frustration and success and everything included. So thanks so much for enlightening us, and I wish you all the best. It has been a very engaging and enriching conversation.
It was a privilege for me, sir. Like you have honored us in this way. Thank you, and thank you to your audience all.
Yeah. All the very best.
Thank you.